So thus far in the 111 process, we've covered that one problem. What is something that creates a deep emotional problem in a customer's mind who would be happy to pay for a solution? Now it's time, since we've identified and isolated certain specific problems and turned them into headlines, is which one do we create the solution for? Specifically, we're looking for one solution to one problem. What is a simple solution you already have or could easily assemble where the customer would get more value from you than the money that you get from them? So here's the criteria that we're looking for when we're looking at solving a problem, because there's a lot of different things that we can consider to help us solve a specific problem. The first thing is utility. What is the meatiest single solution you can provide to satisfy the most individuals possible? So I want you to imagine a scenario of a marketplace. Let's just say everybody in this market shares a singular commonality of a problem that they want to be solved. However, not everybody in that singular marketplace wants it to be solved the same way or is interested in certain things. Like I'll give you an example. Some people hate paid traffic as an option, so you can't ever sell them internet marketing products, at least today, that revolve around paid traffic. Other customers absolutely hate free traffic because they don't believe in it. Whether it's true or not true, it doesn't matter. It's their way that they've already figured it out. So anytime I create a free product, I am actually isolating part of a market, a chunk or a slice of that market. And every single thing you create will isolate other chunks, and it will enhance the connection with certain slices of that marketplace. So if you imagine a situation where A, B, and C, there's three dominant things in that market that they're excited about. And A, 40% of the market's excited about, B, 30%, and then C, another 30%. Which one would you go with? And a lot of people say, well, Jason, I'd go with the 40%, right? Who cares? In a situation like that, the numbers are so they're so slightly different that it doesn't matter. You just pick one and go with it. But I want you to imagine another marketplace, and this is more often like what you're going to see in the real world, where there are 20 different market segments of things that people would most resonate with, a dominant feature or focus. And so in an instance like this, let's say 19 of them have 2% of the market is like totally passionate and resonating with them. That's 38 total percent. And then there's one segment that has 62% of the market. We would want to go after that 62%. That's the biggest chunk where all these people experience the same common problem to the same type of degree. So even though we're selling to individuals in that market, that one specific, because we're getting very specific on a solution, that one specific solution is going to hit the most of those individuals. Now, there are exceptions to this. Let's say you're in a gigantic market where 2% of the market that could resonate with that, even if you got a small fraction of that 2%, could make you six figures a year. Would you go after that market? Sure. In that case, it's not a consideration, but you always have to be aware of, is the specific single solution I'm solving, is that going to hit enough people to make it worth my while? Secondly, behavior. How can you change or alter an existing limiting behavior that gets in the way of the results? So completely changing somebody's behavior is very hard to do unless you chunk it down to something really, really tiny and micro-focused and specific, right? So on the other end, we like to alter, ever so slightly, we alter the behavior of the customer. So we give them something that they can slightly do differently that's not going to be painful to them to help them achieve the result. So if you're looking at a potential problem, you ask yourself, hey, is there a simple way I can slightly alter an existing behavior to get this customer a tangible, immediate, positive net result? And we're going to show examples of all these solutions in action related to these criteria. But I'm always looking at the end of the day, real knowledge, real learning has not happened unless behavior has changed as a result of understanding. Because if you truly understand something and it's positive, you'll never go back to the way you were before. But if you haven't changed your behavior, then it hasn't made that impact yet. So at the end of the day, our solution must be able to change their behavior somewhat at least if we're going to have value there. So utility and behavior. Here's the third consideration, uniqueness. Can you tell them something they haven't heard before, or at least communicate it in a different way? We are causal human beings at the end of the day. What does that mean? That means very quickly we're going to generalize. It's to a fault, might I add. I can't tell you customer after customer I've personally worked with who says, Jason, I tried Facebook ads. They just don't work for me. And I'll say, oh, yeah? How much ad money did you spend on them? $12. Okay, how many clicks did you generate? 13 clicks. Okay, how many variations and how many different things did you put it against? 1. And so therefore, let me get this straight. Based on that situation, you're concluding that Facebook ads don't work. The only conclusion I would come to logically is in that one specific narrow focus with that tiny, tiny, tiny little bit of data segment, Facebook ads didn't work for you that one time. But here's the problem. If I go and tell that customer you should run Facebook ads and a product, they're immediately going to shut down because, oh, I've been there, done that, heard that before. That's nothing new. Therefore, they will discount the value of that and they'll be less likely to buy it from you, and then they'll be less likely to actually take action and implement it. So very often, even though we don't have to, even though we shouldn't have to alter a fundamental, we very much do so for marketing purposes just to give it some sort of uniqueness or angle. So when somebody hears it, they say, ooh, I never heard of that before. Let me take a look. Or secondly, if everybody's teaching it in one specific way, with one specific approach, with one specific example, how can we buck that trend and figure out a different way to communicate the same thing? And so these are things you consider when you're crafting a solution to a particular product. Here's the fourth one, ease. What takes the least amount of your effort and time yet still produces an amazing dramatic result? Again, customers don't care if it takes you a minute or a year. They just want the solution. So all things being equal, I'm very much looking for problems that are very simple to solve, worthwhile. Will the result have a meaningful impact and long-lasting benefit in their life? So your solution has to be so powerful in a sense that when a customer does it, it's worth it for them to go through the effort and spending the money to get it. Now, here's why this is important even before they ever buy the product from you. It makes your advertising so much easier. It makes everything you do to draw attention to that product. The marketing is straight up built into the product. Because if you approach the solution with a meaningful impact and long-lasting benefit, if nothing else, you tell the customer, here's why I solved this problem for you in this specific fashion. Because I believe this is going to give you a long-lasting and meaningful impact and benefit in your life. So a lot of people forget that when they create their product and have their solutions out there. And then they wonder why people don't want to buy their products, and those who do buy your products are not very happy about it. Lastly, here's the last criteria, immediate. How can you make it so the very first time they try it, they get some sort of measurable improvement right off the bat? So even if they don't experience more than a small fraction of the total lesson, or even if they don't understand more than a small fraction, when the first time they go and attempt to put it into action, can you give them some sort of positive measurable result? These are all criteria to consider in your solution. Now, would you like the thing that has the meatiest single solution to the biggest audience that immediately completely reverses a behavior, that's the easiest thing in the world for you to create, that is completely unique, never done before, that has value forever in their life, and the first time they try it, they can get that benefit? Well, yeah, that'd be nice if we had something that satisfied perfectly all 6 criteria point here, but in the real world, it doesn't work like that. That product does not exist. So we say, does it have a little bit of this, maybe some of that over there? And if so, these are like, ooh, that'd be cool then to solve this problem in a specific fashion, considering these elements. Now, I will tell you my own personal hierarchy of value of what I place the most to the least emphasis on these 6 solution criteria. Ease is my number one favorite thing. I say, okay, I want it to be easy for me, because here's the deal. I can provide more value to my audience if I'm consistently focusing on solutions that are easy to me. My output of solutions is going to be much higher than my competition's, right? So ease is a benefit to the customer, and it's also very self-fulfilling to me myself. My second thing that I place the highest value on is immediate, because I want to give them something the first time that they interact with it, it gives them some sort of improvement on. And you can't do this as easily in higher ticket products because we're going more in depth and we're going for more of a complete and overall big solution, which is why they pay a lot of money for. But these little tactical 1-1-1 type of products, we absolutely can. So immediate is second to me. Third is behavior. So I look at, where's the easiest thing where I can simply tell somebody something and it would instantly alter their behavior? Is that existing? And if not, what could it be that could make it exist, right? And then after that is uniqueness. And then beyond that, worthwhile and utility are the final factors. Let's get some examples, though, so we can make this very real to you in each of these criteria.